Hello and welcome. You're watching Beyond World is One. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and let's start this broadcast by taking a quick look as to what is making headlines at this hour. A deadly explosion hit a mosque in a predominantly Alawite area in Syria's Homs. The blast has resulted in deaths of at least about 8 people and has wounded 18 others.
At least 8 people are reported to have been killed, around 20 others injured in an explosion during Friday prayers inside a mosque in the Syrian province of Homs. The attack happening in the Alawite Wadi al-Dahab neighbourhood. Local officials quoting as saying it may have been caused by a suicide bomber or explosives placed there. With me is Saeed Shahata from BBC Arabic. Good to see you. What do we know happened here?
What happened, according to the Minister of Health, 8 people were killed, 18 people were injured so far. The injured people were transferred to the hospitals, some of them in critical conditions. So it might be more people, the casualties may rise. And according to the security sources, talked to the SANA, which is the Syrian state agency, saying that it's an explosive devices were planted in the mosque. And it was during the Friday prayers, so there's many people there, so the casualties are this big number. The number might rise. And mainly it's an Alawite. It's called the Ali ibn Abi Talib Mosque in Homs in central Syria.
And any indication of who might be behind this, which group might be responsible?
There are speculations of one group doing that. It's called Al-Sunnah Supporters Group. This group was established in January this year. And they announced before 2 attacks. One of them on Christians on a church in Damascus in June. Another one, again, is the Shia Alawites, and some Alawites were killed in February in Hama, in another governorate. So, and this group is very close. It goes to the footsteps of the what's so-called the Islamic State, which is spread in different places all over the world. And this group is not happy with Ahmad al-Shara as the interim president. They are not supporting him, but they are not declaring, like fighting him. But they declared like they are after the Druze, the Alawites. The Alawites are offshoot sect, and they are about 10 to 12%, and they were, mainly the sect from the former President Bashar al-Assad.
President al-Shara talks often about the importance of unification of the country coming together in order to build what he calls a strong Syria. So when you see something like this, what does it say about how difficult that is going to be in the future stability for the country?
Many challenges to achieve stability in Syria in the future after 1 year from after the toppling Bashar al-Assad. There were joy in Syria for al-Assad to go, but at the same time there is concerns about al-Shara to lead the country. There is some incident happened before, the coastal incident in March, and after that there is investigation by Syrian UN committee, and they found out there is part of the interim government forces were perpetrated, acts of violence against the Alawite in the coastal area. In addition to that, the agreement between al-Shara government and Syrian Democratic Forces is not implemented yet. That where the forces of the Syrian Democratic Forces will be part of the National Army or the Ministry of Defense is not happening so far. The Druze also are not happy with the Shara. So there is many division inside Syria. There is support for him from Mr. Trump, from other leaders, but the challenge inside are immense. And what happened today highlights the problem and the challenges ahead of Mr. Shara to, to make authority happen and a grip on the Syrian in the future.
So thank you very much.
We condemn the recent gruesome killing of a Hindu youth in Mymensingh and expect that the perpetrators of the crime would be brought to justice.
And India's Ministry of External Affairs has condemned the gruesome killing of a Hindu youth and has said that it expects the perpetrators of the crime to be brought to justice. And the BNP acting chairman Tariq Rahman visits the grave of father and Bangladesh's former president Ziaur Rahman in Dhaka 17 years after he returned home from self-exile. And 14 people have been injured in a stabbing attack in a factory in central Japan, during which an unspecified liquid was apparently sprayed. The former Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak is found guilty of abusing his power to plunder millions from the 1MDB Sovereign Wealth Fund and to launder the proceeds. And precious metals are in a bit of a bright spot today. Silver is up by nearly about 5% to surge above $75 per ounce for the very first time. The platinum outperforms with 8% gains, while palladium pops around 7%.
哦，这个后劲还蛮强的，还在摇。
哇，你看还在摇哎。
Rare snowfall, which remember has emerged from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has witnessed this snowfall which has never been seen before in several parts of the country, including the northern regions, where such an event has been reported for the first time in 30 years, leaving residents in awe. The white blanket of snow covered vast desert areas from Tuwaik mountain ranges in the west to regions near Riyadh as well. The rare event has sparked excitement and disbelief amongst the residents, who have shared videos and photographs of the Gulf nation blanketed in white. Take a look at these visuals as I say goodbye.
A major geopolitical storm is brewing across the Atlantic. The Donald Trump administration has imposed visa bans on 5 prominent Europeans, accusing them of pressuring American tech companies to censor U.S. voices. Washington calls it a fight for free speech. Europe calls it foreign interference. And at the heart of this clash is one explosive question: who controls speech in the digital age? U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio made the announcement public on X, issuing a sharp warning to Europe. For far too long, ideologues in Europe have led organized efforts to coerce American platforms to punish American viewpoints they oppose. Rubio said the Trump administration will no longer tolerate what it calls extraterritorial censorship, and confirmed the State Department is now barring what he described as leading figures of the global censorship industrial complex. And he added, the list can grow. So who exactly is Washington targeting? The 5 Europeans hit with U.S. visa bans are Thierry Breton, former EU commissioner who oversaw tech regulation, Imran Ahmed, CEO of the Center for Countering Digital Hate, Josephine Balan and Anna-Lena von Hodenberg, both leaders of German NGO Hate Aid, and Claire Melford, who runs the Global Disinformation Index. Washington says these figures pushed foreign censorship campaigns against Americans and U.S. tech firms, triggering what Rubio calls serious foreign policy consequences. The European Union hit back hard. In a formal statement, the European Commission said the EU is an open, rules-based single market with the sovereign right to regulate economic activity in line with democratic values. If needed, we will respond swiftly and decisively to defend our regulatory autonomy against unjustified measures, the bloc said. Brussels also confirmed it has formally requested clarification from Washington. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stepped in with values-first defense. Freedom of speech is the foundation of our strong and vibrant European democracy. We are proud of it. We will protect it, she wrote. Her message was clear. Europe rejects the charge that its digital laws equal censorship. French President Emmanuel Macron said he spoke directly to Thierry Breton and vowed resistance. We will stand firm against pressure and will protect Europeans, he added. Macron stressed that EU digital rules were adopted through a democratic and sovereign process and will not be dictated from outside Europe. Germany also weighed in. Foreign Minister Johann Wadephol called the bans not acceptable and said Berlin would address Washington's interpretation of EU digital laws to strengthen the partnership, not break it. The EU Council and the UK echoed similar concerns, warning against escalation between allies. This move is part of a broader Trump-era campaign against foreign influence over online speech, and the U.S. is now using immigration law as its weapon. Washington argues Europe's Digital Services Act pressures platforms to police political speech. Europe insists the law targets harmful and illegal content, not opinions. Former EU Commissioner Thierry Breton hit back on X, asking, is McCarthy's witch hunt back? 90% of the European Parliament and all 27 member states voted for the DSA. To our friends in America, censorship isn't where you think it is. Breton had previously clashed publicly with Elon Musk, especially over platform moderation and an online interview with Donald Trump ahead of the U.S. election. This isn't just about visas. It's about who sets the rules of the internet. America says it's defending free speech. Europe says it's defending democracy. And as elections, platforms, and power collide, this digital Cold War is only just beginning.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi. A live look at the White House this Christmas evening. We are following breaking news from D.C. President Trump announcing that the U.S. has launched airstrikes in Nigeria. This is the post from President Trump on Truth Social just a few minutes ago. He said, "Tonight, at my direction as Commander-in-Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay. And tonight, there was. The Department of War executed numerous perfect strikes, as only the United States is capable of doing. Under my leadership, our country will not allow radical Islamic terrorism to prosper. May God bless our military, and Merry Christmas to all, including the dead terrorists, of which there will be many more if their slaughter of Christians continues." That was from President Trump, and we also have a reaction to that from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. He said the president was clear last month the killing of innocent Christians in Nigeria and elsewhere must end. The Department of War is always ready, so ISIS found out tonight on Christmas. More to come. Grateful for Nigerian government support and cooperation. Merry Christmas. Again, that was breaking news from Washington, D.C. Tonight, President Trump announcing the U.S. has launched airstrikes in Nigeria. He says against ISIS terrorists there who have been committing violence and killing innocent Christians. That is from President Trump tonight. That breaking news, we will continue to follow that and any developments that come.
The Unification Ministry here says North Korea's latest display of military might comes in response to security commitments between Seoul and Washington, including the pursuit of nuclear submarines by South Korea. Our Park Junan has details.
A day after North Korea's display and inspection of surface-to-air missiles and nuclear-powered submarines, South Korea's Ministry of Unification on Friday said the move appears to be a response to South Korea's plans to develop its own nuclear-powered sub.
Domestically, it appears to be aimed at showing off achievements in the defense sector and justifying the advancement of nuclear capabilities and the strengthening of military power. Externally, it is seen as drawing attention to the deployment of U.S. strategic assets and South Korea's push to build a nuclear-powered submarine.
South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff announced on Thursday that the military had detected launch signs in advance and tracked several presumed surface-to-air missiles fired from the Sondok area in Hamgyeongnam-do province around 5 p.m. on Wednesday toward the East Sea. Observed by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, Pyongyang conducted the first test of a new type of high-altitude, long-range surface-to-air missile system over the East Sea. Kim congratulated those who participated in the test, which was presented as a standard procedure to enhance the country's air defense capabilities. While a joint analysis with U.S. intelligence is underway, the Joint Chiefs of Staff stressed its robust allied deterrence posture against any potential provocations by the North. Also on Thursday, Kim Jong-un visited a shipyard that is allegedly constructing an 8,700-ton nuclear-powered strategic guided missile submarine. The North Korean state-run Korean Central News Agency quoted Kim as sharply criticizing South Korea's plan to develop nuclear-powered submarines. Kim said the plan, under the approval of the U.S., would further destabilize the Korean peninsula. He described the move as an aggressive act that seriously infringes on North Korea's national security and maritime sovereignty, adding that Pyongyang views it as a security threat that must be met with a response. On Friday, North Korea's Korean Central News Agency showed images of Kim Jong-un and officials looking at missile parts. Kim reportedly emphasized the need to expand overall manufacturing capacity and assign technical and economic tasks in support of the 5-year goal of developing advanced missiles. Park Jun-han, Arirang News.